I will call this meeting of the Humboldt County Health Board to order at 9:03 a.m. Roll call, Jim French,
I'm here.
Marlene Brisden,
Here.
Ron Cherry,
Here.
Mike Bell,
Here.
Sheriff Allen,
Undersheriff is here on behalf of Sheriff Allen.
and thank you. And Dr. Stringham is not here today.
That is correct.
So, have the roll call done. Would ask, do we have the flag?
I got her here somewhere.
The flag. Would you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
Pledge
to the
allegiance
flag
to the
of the
flag
United
States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
one
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Get my agenda up here, okay. We will be starting our, well, we got a public comment first. Sorry about that. Is there any public that would like to comment this morning about any item that is not on our agenda? If you have public comment, please mute your or unmute your mic. That is *6. Identify yourself, please.
This is Paige Brooks, and I just sent it as the health board. I want to remind everyone we're spraying for the whole week. So for animals, kids, cars, just so you know.
We're
Thank you,
spraying.
Paige. Mosquitoes?
Thank you.
Yes, from the 11th, I think, to the 17th or 18th, but just so you all know.
That is so good. They're so bad out there right now.
Yes. So just so you know, that's all.
Thank you, Paige. Do we have any other public comment? No other public comment. We'll move right into our update from our public health officials. We don't have Dr. Stringham with us today, so we'll go right into Captain Wilkin with your update.
Good morning. So with emergency management, I've reached out to our local partners and the organizations we were working with locally in reference to any ongoing resource requests for PPE or other items. The responses I've gotten back is that we're holding stable with everything. So I don't have any additional resource requests or things like that are going out for items that we're short on. So everybody's in good shape, and that's good news. Additionally, we received another donation of 1,500 masks from the state of Nevada. Civil Air Patrol brought those up yesterday. Those will be distributed evenly between Humboldt County and the city of Winnemucca, and that is intended for the reopening of the cities and counties. So everything else, as far as emergency management and our side of this goes, is holding very steady. We're in good shape. Things are slowing down on the state side with the management of it as well. So as a whole, we're kind of getting to a steady state with this where it's very manageable.
Mr. Chair, Dave Mendiola. Captain Wilkin, just wanted to add to you, I heard late yesterday that I got a call from Elko Mining Group, actually through their representative, Tim Crowley, and they have a pallet of hand sanitizer that they produced. They went into the production of that early on in the pandemic. They sent it to the state. It was no longer needed. And so I just said, we'll take the whole pallet. So they did. So I'll have, I think it's 50 cases of it any time, probably next week. So we just, I'll make you aware of that, and we'll probably put it in the basement here. And so we can hand that out as you see fit.
Okay. And the additional masks I'll be bringing up to you guys and over to city today. And then the previous set of masks, I do have some extras with those as well if they're needed throughout the county or with the city also.
Okay. So I'll touch bases with the city, and then also Tiffany, I see you're on. So Tiffany, if you guys need something, let me know. I don't know how many comes in a case, but I'm told we'll have plenty.
And then also to add as well, our ozone generator for being able to sanitize vehicles and spaces was delivered yesterday. So we do have that on hand. That came in late yesterday afternoon. So if we want to start coming up with a work plan in the county for how we want to go about sterilizing vehicles in some of these areas, we can start with that today. Whenever you guys would like to, it's here and ready for use. And the remainder of the lamps that we ordered for sterilization of workplaces should be shipping no later than tomorrow.
Excellent.
Good morning.
Can't hear you, Ken.
I had myself on mute. Does anyone else have a question of Captain Wilkin this morning? Okay, thank you, Captain Wilkin. And being as Dr. Stringham is here, I know Nicole is in contact with Dr. Stringham on a regular basis. So Nicole, could you give us your report? And
Hey,
what
Ken.
you
Mr. Chair, yeah, we're getting an echo and I think it's you. So I don't know if you have two devices going, but we're getting an
I did.
echo.
I'll shut that one off and you'll have to bring the agenda along with me.
All right.
But I think we're through most of it. So anyway, being as Dr. Stringham is not with us today, I know that Nicole keeps in fairly close contact with Dr. Stringham, and maybe you can go over what you have for us this morning, Nicole, and what you have been visiting with Dr. Stringham about.
Can you hear me okay?
I can, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, we're sorry to not have Dr. Stringham with us this morning, but I'm happy to share what might help bring us up to date. We are still at 78 cases, and so if you remember, we have not had a new confirmed case since June 2nd. And so we are continuing that very positive downward trend. One of the things that continues to be of concern to Dr. Stringham is people feeling that the pandemic is over and that they don't need to utilize those precautionary measures, those three things that he always talks about: wearing a mask, social distancing, and washing hands frequently. Dr. Fauci made a statement several days ago that has been widely expressed across the national media, saying that the pandemic isn't over yet. And in fact, the United States still leads the world in cases, and also talking about a fall return for this. There just isn't enough information to know if this type of coronavirus will act that way, but we certainly, sounds like from Captain Wilkin and Dave, that we've got some things stored away and are ready to fight again as we need to. Nevada itself is seeing an uptick in cases over the past few days. So we just 2 days ago, we increased slightly for the first time since we started to decline in late April. And it's just a very slight percentage. And so it's not enough to break the overall declining trend, but certainly our state officials are monitoring that for any potential impact on the healthcare system. And Nevada Hospital Association has also reported a daily increase of confirmed COVID-19 hospitalizations, but hospital capacity remains great. And as you probably are aware, here in Humboldt County, we have no COVID-19 hospitalizations, and so we're doing great here. We still remain at 19 recovered officially, but I promise that will change very soon. Dr. Stringham is working with the FAST team, and as he noted last week, those numbers will change as probably by next week when he's able to report back to us. And so we will see people returning and things normalizing, and that's good news. I wanted to get back with Commissioner French. He had asked about the testing over in Elko, and Jim, I spoke with Bryce Putnam, who is the Elko County Health Officer, and he said that they had capacity to test for 3,000. They did 1,162 people in Elko and another 1,500 in Wendover for the casinos. And those results are coming in slowly, but they were notified immediately of one confirmed positive. Elko has had quite an uptick in cases since the beginning of June. They have had 10 new cases, and so that's been unusual for them after such a quiet period. And so he just noted that he's concerned about that, and certainly concerned about the north. And so we'll continue to be vigilant here. Just for your information, the Elko hotline is modifying its daily hours. They used to do kind of a 12-hour shift, and now they're just doing a 9 to 12 and 1 to 5. But that hotline is still available for our county and the 5-county region. And also wanted to let you know that the HGH screening clinic, those hours are changing as well. And so that screening clinic will be open now from Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And you might have noticed that we've had quite a number of pending cases, but some percentage of those pending cases are people being retested so they can return to work. That's all I have for today. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, does anyone? Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Dave Mendiola. I don't really have much else to say on that front. I'll wait until the next agenda item. I do have a little more information on the antibody testing.
This is Tiffany. Can you guys? Oh, shoot. Never mind.
Go ahead.
We can hear you, Tiffany, which just got a little echo, but go ahead.
I just wanted to say that the state lab is a week behind.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm not thank you that they're a week behind, but thank you for letting us know that. Anybody else have any questions or comments at this point?
I had none, Mr. Chair. This is Commissioner French. I just want to thank Nicole for getting back to me on that item.
Okay, well, thank you, Nicole. And we'll move on to the next agenda item. And that is, Dave, what is it?
Next agenda item is testing update, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding several ongoing testing activities that may be conducted as part of the overall economic reopening plan, including but not limited to antibody testing and ongoing community testing in the months ahead, discussion and possible action. So in speaking with Dr. Stringham, he has been working with the state lab, and they are coming up with a specific plan to identify 100 individuals in our community that will provide a cross section of people that we will ask and call and ask that they volunteer to do antibody testing. Obviously it's volunteer. Should they choose not to, they'll have some backup names. And we'll do that. Right now, it looks like we won't be able to get that done until July. So that is the plan. Dr. Stringham says he should have the full plan executed and ready to go and report on next week. So we can talk more about that next week. He did make a comment. I wasn't really going to bring it up, but I guess I will, about possibly finding a private source for the funding of that. And it's just my feeling. I don't know how the board feels. That's really something I think that the county should handle and go ahead and pay for it. So about $6,000 we're looking at for those 100 subjects. And you know, we can put it in the COVID-19 plan, and we will probably get reimbursed. I spoke with Rochelle Paquette this morning. She's working closely with Gina on reimbursement, different possibilities, a couple different ways that we're looking at getting reimbursement, but we would definitely get reimbursement for that. So, and it may only be at 75%, but in any case, I'm just really uncomfortable with going to a private company and asking them to pay for antibody testing for the county as part of this. You know, I don't mind when they come forward and ask, which we've had just amazing outpouring of help, especially from the mining groups. You know, of course, the muck and mass makers, gosh, the list goes on and on. But I think this is my personal opinion, is this is something that we should handle, and we'll do everything we can to get reimbursed for it.
All right, thank you. Does anyone else have anything on the antibody testing?
Mr. Chairman, this is Commissioner French. I have to, I'm just going record. I have to agree with Dave Mendiola with his assessment. I think it is a county function, and I believe it is our responsibility to complete that. Also, I had a question last week having to do with the private individuals being able to access antibody testing through HGH, and what whether there was going to be what the charges were going to be, whether it was going to be along the line of the $50 a test, or whether it was going to be something other than that. And I was just wondering if anybody had any report on that.
I'll let Tiffany, it looks like you were going to speak on that. So, hey, Tiffany, can I make a recommendation to you? When you talk, just delay, say a few words and then delay a little bit. That way you don't go on top of each other. So.
Can't hear you.
We see your lips moving.
Yeah.
So what I'll jump in here, Nicole. So what I know in talking with Dr. Stringham is that he has been working with the hospital internally to provide a better pricing structure for that. I don't know what that number is yet, but it will be less than $50 for individuals who want to get the antibody test separately from the control group. I also know that I had some friends of mine in Reno did go to LabCorp, and they got the antibody test and got results within 24 hours. So so you can get it there as well. And I don't remember what they said the cost was, but.
I was told $10 it cost. It was mostly, but I don't know. I was told that last night that they were charging a fee for basically writing the prescription, but I don't know if they have something separate going. It might not be LabCorp, but if there's something separate going on there that they have donated tests, I don't know. But we'll find out. We'll get a report from HGH for next week on how much those tests will be, and then we can put it out to the public. Can we have that by next week, Tiffany? Okay. All right, thank you. Do we have any other comments on this item?
Evidently not. Wow. One of our patients is out there.
See if I can.
She didn't get one. She's been sitting out there like for.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Chair.
Okay, what's next?
Next item is review and discussion regarding phase 2 of the opening of the economy, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding the opening of non-essential businesses in phase 2 of the Road to Recovery, which began on May 29. So my comment is I have made an effort to get out into the public to find out how people are handling the reopening, and I'm really impressed. I was at the Winnemucca Inn I believe it was Monday morning, and we did a little thing with the Chamber of Commerce, video of the opening, and there was quite a number of people there at 10 o'clock in the morning, both in the restaurant and playing the slots, but they had it all cordoned off, so there was only access. I think there was like 7 or 8 slots that were actually available, but that was working out really well. I know that Terry Boyle was very happy to be open. He was very concerned, obviously, that he do it the right way. Everybody is masked up in terms of his employees. I checked with a couple other businesses in town, and people are doing, in my mind, all the right things. And I think the numbers bear that out, that we haven't had any new positive cases. And the other thing I've noticed is too, even, running into people, everybody's trying to stay their distance. So I think we got through to everybody that we really need to do the social distancing at the very least, and masks, when possible. And most people are doing that, even at stores. I'm noticing now. So I think we're off to a good start. There's one other thing here that doesn't show up on here, which I think now is a good enough time to talk about it. I thought I had put it on here, but apparently not. The reopening of the Humboldt County offices. As you know, we've been open the entire time, but we have required that citizens who need to do business with the county call ahead, make an appointment. And so we've done pretty good with that. We haven't had any issues that I'm aware of. However, some new things are coming around the corner here. Specifically, all of our tax bills will go out for payment starting July 1. And we normally get quite a rush anytime that happens. A lot of people, walk in with cash and they're ready to pay their taxes right away. So we really feel strongly, after talking with Treasurer Rona Luckenberry, and I just spoke with Andy Heiser. Jeff Johnson's on vacation right now, and Andy, they have the same issue. So we're going to look really at opening the front door to the big steps so that people can come in and out. I'm going to talk to the rest of my managers. We did have a discussion about it yesterday in our management team meeting, and for them to prepare for an opening. My goal was originally to do it with plexiglass, so that we had in all those areas that currently don't have some kind of a barrier between the employees and the citizens. We wanted to get our barriers in. Those are back ordered, as you might imagine. We're getting some final numbers for different areas that currently need those, and we'll get those in play as fast as we can. But in the meantime, I think we're probably going to open them a lot quicker, maybe as early as the 1st of July to the general public, and we'll just put some strict protocols in place like every other business has. So that's the current plan, and I'll have more probably next week for you.
All right, thank you, Dave. Do you have anybody else that would like to comment on this? Any of the commissioners have any comments on phase 2 reopening?
Mr. Chairman, I have just one question for Dave. Have we, now that we have selected a date for opening offices, are all of our management team and folks that are going to be dealing with the public, are everybody on board, and do we have a protocol set in place with regard to masks and that type of thing?
Mr. Chair, Dave Mendiola, to Commissioner French. Yes. So everybody's pretty much on board. During our management team meeting, we went around, and most everybody is ready to open. They do have protocols that they plan to put in place once citizens do start coming back in on a regular basis, which will include masks for all of the employees, of course. We will offer masks to the public, and we cannot require them, as you know, but we will offer them to them if they want their disposable masks. And so we'll have that. And then, of course, the only other protocols will enforce the distancing issue. And the good news is with one exception, or maybe two exceptions, the assessor and the treasurer's office. They're a little harder to keep the 6-foot distance. That's why we really need the plexiglass for those. But we can still do it. And again, between the mask offering and our people being masked up, we pretty much cover it. So I think, and then we'll have 6 feet apart so that people can, can't just bundle up and come into the office at one time. So we'll have some challenges there, but I think everybody's on board and I think everybody's ready to go.
Good, thanks, Dave.
Commissioner French or Dave Mendiola, this is Wendy Maddox. Can I add one comment to that?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to let you know that as far as our office, we obviously have the Child Support Division who has very, very close quarters in the front lobby. And we do thankfully have a barrier, some plexiglass or whatever it is. So once we get the go to open the doors, we are going to be operating essentially how the businesses are out in the community. Would be one person in that waiting room area at a time so that they can help the public and still maintain social distance. And kind of like some of the hair salons are doing with people waiting in the car until it's their turn for an appointment. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Mr. Chair, Dave Mendiola, I would also add to that, there may be some exceptions as to exact protocols. I'm going to leave that up to every department and every office, for example, the district attorney, as Wendy brings up there. So there might be slight variations, and that primarily has to do with the physical configuration that they have, just as Wendy pointed out.
Thank you. Anybody else have a comment? How about from Sheriff's Office? Do you have any comments on page 2 reopening? Kevin?
Sorry. We don't have anything more to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next agenda item.
Future agenda items, is there anything that the commissioners and or the sheriff's office need on the next agenda? I definitely want to come back to the testing. We'll have more specific on that. We will also deal with those pending cases at that time that Nicole brought up. And so is there anything else the board members would like to hear?
I'd like to have a defined answer on the antibody testing through HGH, and I'm sure we can have that, but I'd like to have that on there.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, this is Commissioner French. It would be helpful as well if we had a standing item with regard to how the state as a whole is stacking up. I know Nicole Maher actually reported that this morning, and I would like to see us be able to be apprised at least of how the state as a whole is doing with regard to new cases and with the trends and whatnot. I think that's it's important for us to look at as well as our own geographic area.
Okay, I got it.
Anything else? Do you have anything, Commissioner Bell?
In regards to the agenda item for the putting the cost of the testing on there, if we're going to approve that, does that need to go onto our commissioner agenda as well, or can we approve it through this board?
This is Wendy Maddox for the record, and I've had discussions with Mr. Mendiola, and just in regards to this, it will be on the commissioner's agenda.
Oh, great. That's all I had. Thanks.
Commissioner Cherry?
I have nothing.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Brizenden?
I have nothing.
Okay, I think we've covered everybody there. Next agenda item.
Next agenda item is public comment.
Do we have any public comment? Once again, if you have public comment, please unmute your mic, *6, and identify yourself. Do we have any public comment this morning? Hearing no public comment, we'll adjourn this meeting at 9:33 a.m.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great day.
Thank you.